I'm Leslie.
And I'm Shelly.
And we are
Sisters in Ebert.
Welcome back for our final movie Monday of the year.
It's a good day to
Die Hard. Some might say the best Christmas movie ever.
No, technically the holidays are done now.
But
they're not.
They're not.
This is for sure
a Christmas movie. We have answered that question.
Yes. So I was one of those that was like, I don't know. I haven't seen it in a while.
It's for sure Christmas.
I watched it and I was like, this is so Christmassy.
Yes, it is.
Beyond Christmas.
I think that's why a lot of guys love it, because it's an action movie that's also a Christmas movie. Mm-hmm. And Die Hard 2 is actually a Christmas movie.
I don't know that I ever saw Die Hard 2. There's a third one too, right?
There's like 4 or 5. My husband loves Die Hard and Bruce Willis.
Yes. Oh, how do you know that you love Die Hard? What's your son's name?
My baby's name is McLean in the NICU.
Our little
McLean. Yeah.
Hopefully by the time this video airs, he will be home.
Yes, and we wrote at his first NICU. You could write little encouraging messages to them on the wall, and my husband put his middle name is Steele, and so he put be strong like John, tough like steel. Yeah. And all the nurses love his name, McLean. We get asked about it all the time. How we came up with it, and then we always talk about Die Hard. I got the idea when I was watching this movie to prep for this filming, back when I was still pregnant,
Sisters in Ebert has named a child.
Yes, in vain. I was trying to get this done for the year, and he had other plans. So here we are. But that's okay. It's more appropriate. It's all good. So Die Hard, was this a summer movies movie?
I believe so.
I think it was too, so...
Which is probably why I wasn't sold that it was a Christmas movie, because I saw it in July.
Right,
or whatever.
Right. We might have to move our little thing this time, because we have John up there.
What?
Our little summer movies.
Oh. Ding! It's already there.
Ding!
I missed it.
Ding,
it's somewhere here.
Somewhere.
Wherever.
It's the big yellow circle.
Wherever Shelly can squeeze it in when I'm editing this. We'll find out. It's a mystery.
Yes. So this was definitely summer movies.
Yes.
And I feel like I did like this movie when we watched it. But I wasn't interested in watching it until I got
don't think I had much of an interest in it at the time. I think it was squirrel heavy for me.
Squirrel heavy.
Yes.
Now, if you...
He's here.
Okay. I was like, uh-oh. We staged everything. We had to fit everything in the frame.
Yes, we have a lot of props today.
We do.
So this is our squirrel. And if you are not privy to this information... we give a squirrel rating during our summer of movies, wherever the logo may be, films that we review, because our dad showed us these movies on summer days, one summer, which extended into many. and
springs and falls.
Yes. So as we were watching, we could look outside and see all the wildlife in the backyard through our glass sliding door from where we were sitting.
We had
on the
a
couch.
walkout basement is where we were watching these.
So if we're into the movie, we're watching the TV, we're not watching the squirrels outside, so it gets a low squirrel rating if we liked the movie. However, if we were not big fans of the film at the time,
you're going to have a high squirrel
rating. It's going to be super squirrely, because you're just staring out the window instead of watching the TV because you were bored or embarrassed or whatever it may be at the time. Yes. So at the end, we will give our squirrel rating. Here, John, you hold that.
So this is 1988 Bruce Willis movie, Die Hard.
Older than me.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think
89.
about that. I was about, 2? Probably when it came out. So we opened to a plane landing in a sepia-colored LA to show the smogginess of it all. John McClane is a nervous flyer, but he gets advice from his seatmate to ball up his fists, or make fists with his feet barefoot after he gets to where he's going on the rug, and just clench them and release and clench and release to release the tension. The seatmate is nervous, noticing that John McClane has a gun, and he assures his seatmate not to worry. He's a cop of 11 years. Because that means you can carry a gun.
That's fine. This is clearly pre 9/11.
Yeah. So John McClane is a New York City cop, and he's heading out to LA to meet his wife, who has moved out there with their kids.
His estranged wife.
Yeah, because she accepted some big job
Yeah, she accepted a big job offer, and he was not supportive.
No.
And so he stayed in New York and was just like,
well, he didn't want to leave his job.
Career. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
So we cut to Nakatomi Tower for Christmas party.
Nakatomi?
Nakatomi. Oh my gosh, I wrote it wrong in here. It's Nakatomi.
Nakatomi.
It's Nakatomi Tower for a Christmas party celebrating the success of the year. And Holly Gennaro McLean is being hit on by a sleazy coworker and urges the secretary, who is visibly pregnant, to go join the party, telling her to have some champagne. That baby can handle it because the baby is so big. He's ready to 10 bar.
Yeah,
this is the 80s.
I don't think anyone should accept this medical advice at this
moment.
No,
absolutely
anymore.
Not. Yeah.
No champagne is acceptable here at this moment. Yeah, she was like...
She was ready to pop, but
not even like they say it later. Like she had like another month or something.
Yeah, like a couple weeks left.
It's like, oh, okay, you made it this far.
I know. Holly calls home to talk to her kid, and the babysitter, and the child asks if Daddy will be home with Mommy that night. And Holly says, "We'll see," as John didn't call, and to have the maid make up the spare bedroom just in case.
Yeah, this seems like a very haphazard Christmas Eve.
Yeah. And why are we having that's my only beef with this movie. Why are we having company party on Christmas Eve?
Apparently a lot of these people do not have families to get home to.
Yeah.
Because it's getting late too. Like it gets dark.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's dark outside. It's like 4:30. So
still, like this is not like during the work day is what I'm getting at. Like it's like
no,
it's one thing if it was like
hours.
we're having a lunch party. Yeah, like that's okay.
My job used to let us leave. Like we used to get a half day for Christmas, like Christmas Eve. Yeah. So and you could even leave earlier than that. Like if you didn't take your lunch, like you could leave a half hour earlier if you wanted to.
Yeah, I wouldn't be eating on Christmas Eve.
No, I didn't. I never did. I was like, peace out. John picked up by Argyle, the driver, who's his first time picking someone up, and John's first time riding in a limo. So he rides up front with Argyle. Holly's been out in LA for the past 6 months, and John doesn't want to move due to being an NYPD police officer. Argyle will wait to find out if the meeting Holly goes well for John before leaving the complex, and John finds Holly going by the maiden name Gennaro now at her job.
Oh, yeah, he goes to like, the database to
and he's like typing in McLean, and she's not popping up. It's a real high-tech thing because like they have like a door person,
like a security guard at the door,
but he doesn't like help him. He's like, here, just type the name and I'll tell you where to go.
It's like, dude, I think you're gonna lose your job pretty soon because they don't need you here.
Yeah, exactly. That's we're worried about AI now. I think he was already getting phased out.
Yeah, and this is the Nakatomi Tower, and like her boss is Mr. Nakatomi. So like this is like their company.
His name is not Nakatomi.
Oh, it's not?
No, but I call him that during the whole movie.
Oh, I thought it was.
No, it was something else. I hope I wrote it down, but I didn't.
Whoops.
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely calling him Mr. Nakatomi.
He owns the company, though.
He does. Well, he's like the CEO, but yeah.
The whole shebang, the Nakatomi Corporation.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Whatever. Okay.
I think we get into it.
We'll see. We'll see when we get there.
The marriage is straight. If not, Dave will correct it. My husband will correct us.
In the comments, Dave, let us know.
So the marriage is strained. They're not together or separated.
They're just in between.
John goes to Holly's floor with the office party on Christmas Eve. They're the only ones left in the building. So why couldn't the security guard just tell him that? Since he's like, yeah, they're the only ones left in the building.
Right. This is the floor you're looking for.
Because that was the whole point.
Hey, who are you looking for? Is she working here?
That was the whole point of typing in the name, was to find what floor to go to. Yeah.
He's not even a good security
No,
guard.
he's not. The people at the party. Yeah. People at the party. Jeez, no spoilers. People at the party are very loose. John chalks it up to being California, though. Like, not that they're like wasted.
They're definitely drunk at the party. There's a lot of champagne a-flowing.
I put Holly's boss, Mr. Nakatomi, takes John to Holly's office and finds her coworker doing blow on her desk.
The sleazy coworker who was hitting on her.
Yeah, John asked to wash up, and Holly got a Rolex for present for closing a big deal. Holly invites John to stay at the house with her and the kids, and Holly and John start fighting over the marriage and her taking the job across the country, and they're interrupted for Holly to give a speech down at the party.
Yeah, this seems like not the place to have this conversation. happened quickly.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But he probably was like brewing the whole way.
Oh, yeah.
Like
yeah.
the whole flight.
Yeah.
And, a large truck arrives to Nakatomi Plaza along with a car, and the truck goes to the parking garage as the car duo shoot the front desk security guard without warning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they walk in like, hey, like, we're going to ask you some
Yep.
information.
And
Boom,
then
boom,
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 boom.
you're gone.
A large group of men unload from the truck as one gunman gets on the computer to close all the gates and disable the elevators. And he's also wrecking the computer system. I was like, what is that word I wrote? Yeah. John took off his shoes and is using a seatmate's carpet trick. He tries calling down to Argyle.
What does he say? Like toes and like he calls it something like something
Piggies,
toes.
maybe?
No, he says toes, but it's like squishy toes or something.
Toes.
Dave, what does he say? I don't remember now.
So he tries calling down to Argyle to let him know that things are still up in the air with Holly as the phone goes dead from the thieves cutting all phone line wires. Yeah. John hears gunshots as the thieves enter the party and grabs his gun and runs to the stairwell as all party guests are ushered into the main area. Mm-hmm. And he's barefoot because he was doing his carpet trick.
Yes.
So he just ran out there. He didn't put shoes on.
Yeah, he's in his sweats and his tank top.
Yeah.
I got my uniform on here, my costume from the movie.
So what we can learn from John McClane and President Trump, grab your shoes every time that there might be some trouble. Because John McClane's gonna have trouble later because he doesn't have shoes on, but we don't know that yet. So grab your shoes.
Grab your shoes,
especially him. He had a couple minutes. He could grab his shoes.
Yeah, because he's there like listening. First, like what's happening? Like quick slip them on while you're listening.
So John goes to the floor still being constructed because this building is like has a couple floors that have like construction still going on. It's not completed yet.
It's not a completed plaza yet.
And he finds out that all phones have been cut. Like every floor has been cut. Which, I mean, yeah, we saw that because he was up there, but maybe that one that wasn't installed yet either. You know,
True.
like
yeah, that's probably one of
because it wasn't finished. Like it was just like
well, that does come first. Yeah, because before they close walls.
Yeah,
but
still, that's true. So Hans Gruber explains they are and if there were phones there,
true, they wouldn't have them in the room.
Yeah. Okay. So Hans Gruber explains that they are taking over and they take Mr. Nakatomi, who's not his name. I'm sorry.
Are you sure it's not his name?
I'm sure it's not his name because I remember later on, like they talk about his name, and I'm like, that is not what I've been calling him this whole time. So they take him hostage to help and then hack the computer system so they can steal millions. John sneaks into where Nakatomi is being held with the thieves and finds that Nakatomi won't tell the code and is shot. John runs but is loud about it, so the thieves investigate. John prays that Argyle heard the shots and calls the police, but Argyle's still in the parking garage with the car phone with his girlfriend and music blasting.
He's like, Argyle, please, I hope you heard this.
Yeah, he's
call
like
911.
He's like party music. Yeah, he's like, no,
I'll snacks in the back. Yeah, I'll be at the party.
I just gotta finish this fair, you know. Hans Gruber's hacker is confident that he can break every code except the last 7th sealed code lock. So like, that's the one that he's not sure he can do, but he's gonna, work on it.
He's gonna do it.
Yep.
It's gonna take him a while though.
Yeah, that's gonna be the time-consuming one. John pulls the fire alarm, but Hans is one step ahead and has the front desk cancel the alarm and goes to investigate the floor where the alarm was pulled, the one still under construction. John pulls his gun on the blonde guy who came to investigate and wrestles up the stairwell, not down the stairwell, up the stairwell. Kills him somehow. I put broken neck, ?
Yeah, he definitely broke his neck.
And he steals his walkie-talkie and machine gun, tries to take his shoes, but his feet were too small.
Yeah, because he's European. Like, they're supposed to be European. Yeah. I forget where exactly.
Maybe East or West German. I think
they were German. I think so. But so he was like, oh, these European shoes. Yeah.
He props the body up with a Santa hat and he sends the body in the elevator with the message, now I have a machine gun. Ho, ho,
yeah,
ho.
like written in blood on him. And so, like, the elevator opens up.
Was it in blood?
It was in blood. It was red.
Oh, yeah,
so I'm assuming, I don't know where he got red paint.
Yeah, you're right.
But so like it opens up
I still
to
get
where
to
the party is like the hostages at this
he
point.
sends it down, yeah.
Yeah, and they start screeching.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I get it's scary, but hold it together a little bit. These people are surrounding you with weapons. Yeah. You don't want to be the screamer in this group.
No. So Hans reveals to the party that they have killed Mr. Nakatomi. Fail again. I'm sorry. John climbs the elevator shaft and rides on the top of the elevator as the blonde man's brother rages that his brother was murdered.
Mm-hmm. He's raging.
Yes. Hans assures him that the plan will carry on and was scheduled as Holly realizes that John is involved and a coworker is angry he's interfering. The guy doing blow. So he's already like out of his mind, and this is a good guy to take advice from.
Yes, yes.
John uses the radio to call for help on the roof, and help thinks it's fake calls due to the canceled fire alarm.
Yeah. So he has to go to the roof because that's the only place he can get a signal to like have it reach out beyond.
Because they kind of have everything locked down.
Yes.
And he hears gunshots as Hans' crew goes to the roof, but just to send a cop car. They say that they'll just send a cop car over, see if anything's going on. Enter Carl Winslow, who is buying treats for his pregnant wife. What is his name in this? I forgot.
Alan?
Maybe.
No,
I have it written down later.
Okay.
Probably that sounds maybe familiar.
I want to say it's Al, but I'm not positive.
And this was before Family Matters.
Yes.
So this is actually the precursor.
Yes.
To Family
Matters.
Matters.
I'm sure that when he signed on for Family Matters, he was like, "Oh, I'm going to be a cop."
Typecast, yeah. So he was buying treats for his pregnant wife at a convenience store because the guy is giving him grief because he's a cop.
He's like, I thought you guys bought donuts.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Like, it's for my wife. Yeah. She's pregnant.
Yeah.
He's like, sure, buddy.
It was like a tasty cake.
It was
thing.
like many
Ding dong.
tasty
Yeah,
cakes.
it's like whatever it was. Whatever the equivalent in LA is.
Yes,
Ding dong, whatever.
Snack cakes.
Yes. Blonde Thief wants to be the one to kill John for retribution for his brother. But
drives me crazy in every movie when they're like, I'm gonna be the one that kills him. It's like, I think you should let anybody take a shot.
Yes. But something eludes shots in skeleton buildings.
Yeah, because it's like the unfinished building, so he's able to
John, I guess. I think that's who I mean by Jay.
Yeah.
John uses the now empty machine gun to climb down the elevator shaft as Hans halts gunshots for fear of the police coming because they can see them pulling in, or the lights coming up the street, and he's like, So John makes it into the air vent.
Oh, there he is. Which I had beef with that part.
Okay.
Because like he has to jump to get to the vent. He loses his grip, but is falling and grabs another one. It's like there's no way you have this grip strength on your little tiny fingertips from falling like
he's not
3
European.
floors down.
He has bigger fingertips.
He said New Yorker. That's how he got in the vent, and I have beef with that part. I don't think that could happen.
John makes it into the air vent as the plus the heat's probably on, so it's gonna be hot.
It's LA though.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe not. Yeah.
But yeah, it probably would be. But we
don't.
Is it a heat vent? It's an air duct.
It could be an air duct. Yeah, that's true. All right, into the air vent as thieves hear the gun fall down the shaft. Welcome to the coast. Or this is where he's like walking. He's just crawling through. Welcome to the coast. Come on out. Have a few laughs.
Great humor.
Yeah. Thieves realize he's in the heat ducts or the air ducts and tries to find where he is. I'm sorry,
I have to take time out. So I did research last night by watching cartoons that have done Die Hard parodies. So it was Bob's Burgers.
Yes.
American Dad and Rick and Morty.
Okay.
So I believe it was the American Dad one. He's crawling through the vent and doing this talking thing like, oh, I have a few left, like doing that. But like everybody can hear him through it. They're all just like that's what he said he's talking. Then I started to think So sorry, I got a little off topic there. But
she's Hans Gruber and she's grooving. As Carl Winslow pulls in.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, and as the aside, for the Bob's Burgers one, they turned it into a musical.
Yes.
So that's brilliant.
Which gets combined with Working Girl.
Working Girl. The Sassy Sister film, The Die Hard. Everybody knows that.
Yeah. I do have to say the Rick and Morty I think was my favorite.
Really?
It was a good one.
I haven't seen that.
Like, you gotta do a Die Hard. Like that's what they just keep saying. I'm doing a Die Hard. And the girl hasn't seen the movie, so she's.
John sees the car pull in and reports no. Oh, and it's reported that there's no disturbance by the cop.
Yeah, so he's like radioing, like, no, nothing to see here. So he's going to leave. Yeah. And then John's like, what? You can't leave?
He goes to check with the guard, Hans's guy posing as a security guard.
But he just fit right in there and was so smooth.
And he all like, I felt like he was ready to shoot Carl to like, well, whoever Carl's name is in this too. He tries,
like he was at the ready.
He tries to break the window, and Carl narrowly avoids being shot by the guy hiding in the hall. Yeah. Oh, yeah, because didn't he go in?
He's like, I'm just going to take a look around. He's like, yeah, go ahead. Yeah. And, like, so he wanders down. There's, like, a guy waiting there, like,
ready to shoot him.
And then he stopped and turned back and was like, this is a waste of my time. It's Christmas Eve.
Yeah, I'm getting out of here. Yeah. So Carl starts to leave, and John lets the body of the thief fall in his car.
Yeah, he, like, shoots out the window, doesn't he, up top?
And he's like, welcome to the party, pal. Carl, which when McClane was born, that's what we said. Welcome to the party, pal. Carl calls an issue on the radio for backup and crashes the car, which was being shot up.
And he's like yelling and radioing for backup. He's going in reverse. And he's like, I need assistance
right now. Yeah. So police are finally dispatched to Nakatomi. And Hans instructs the thieves to stay the course as John speaks to Hans via radio and lets him know more of his guys, Marco is the guy's name, are dead. John prefers cowboys to Rambo because Hans keeps calling him Rambo, and he said, I prefer cowboys. And Hans asks if he thinks he has a chance against them. And John replies, Yippee-ki-yay, MFer. Which?
Great line.
Yippee-ki-yay. Hans realizes John now has the detonator bag carried by one of the guys, Hank, that was killed.
Hank?
Yeah. John is telling Carl everything via radio, but is unable to.
So Carl's the cop.
Yeah,
because we don't know his name.
We don't know his name till
I think it's Al.
I think it's Al, but I'm not sure. Yeah.
Al. Yes.
So I finally get it near the end. After, okay.
At the end of
the no, it was
Carl
before
Winslow.
Then. It was before then because they talk to each other.
Okay, so if you're not sure, Carl Winslow is from the show Family Matters. Urkel. The Urkel show.
Yeah.
And it's this actor. He plays the dad,
and
who
he's
is
also a cop. Yeah.
In the movie, in the show. So that's why we're calling
They're
him
in Chicago in that one.
Yes.
Though, so
yes.
He's the cop a lot of places. So, okay.
So McClane now is talking to Carl via the radio, but they can't, like, the Hans' whole crew can hear him, because they're on the same channel. So he's
unable to tell his name as the radio is a party line, essentially, with the thieves.
They can hear everything, so they have to be careful what they're saying.
They're saying.
But now they know he's in communication with the police, so now they're extra, like, covering their backs, what are we going to do now? We're changing our plans. So
John has the police officer, Carl, call him Roy, like Roy Rogers.
Yes.
Because he said he was a cowboy, yeah. So, Dwayne Robinson is the head of the FBI, and he arrives, and he's the principal from the Breakfast Club.
Yeah. Was he head of the FBI? He wasn't the FBI. He was the head of the department. He was the sergeant.
Oh, yeah. I put FBI/cop because I wasn't sure what he was when he felt.
So he was Carl's superior. That shows up at the scene too.
He fears that Roy is one of the terrorists. But
he's like, you don't know who you're talking to.
Carl suspects that he's a cop though because of how he's talking.
Yeah. He's alluding to it. John's alluding to it in their conversation. So he's like, okay, I'm piecing this together. This is how a cop would talk.
Yep.
So
Holly arrives to Hans to negotiate a sofa for the pregnant employee and starting groups to go to the bathroom. Otherwise, it's going to get real messy down there.
So now she's in charge because she was the next senior person.
Yes.
Because Mr. Nakatomi.
Yep, died. Yep, and I don't think I wrote his name down since he died quite a bit ago. She identifies herself to Hans as Miss Gennaro, not Mrs. So yeah,
Yeah,
'cause he
not
calls
Mrs.
her
McLean.
Mrs. Gennaro, and she's like Miss Gennaro.
Miss Gennaro,
Yeah,
yeah.
So yeah.
So if John's name does come
Yeah.
up eventually, she's not really
Linked,
connected to
yeah.
it. Yes. Because she knows he's
Yes.
there somewhere. She doesn't
Yep.
know where
Yep.
at this point.
And she's trying to protect him still, too, because
Yes.
he's kind of their only answer right now.
Yeah.
Robinson... Okay, that's the head cop guy.
Yeah.
Doesn't believe the group of thieves or hostages are inside due to no ransom demands.
He's like, oh, they're not asking for ransom.
Carl / Al.
Al!
It is Al. Dismisses Roy. And John realizes that the cops are coming in, the worst thing they could do.
Yeah, he's like, no, you set yourself up
Yep.
there ready for you, don't.
Yep. Which this is supposed to be LAPD, and I feel like they're acting like they've never had like a hostage situation before.
Right.
Like this is they're acting like a small town.
They like originated
precinct
situation.
I mean, we all know their track record with those, but like they're acting like a small town precinct.
Like they don't even know what to do.
Yeah.
Like they're
exactly.
like, oh, where do we start?
Yeah. So Argyle tries to leave the parking garage and realizes that all the gates are down and locked. He's squealing tires for some reason. And I put that, and he's still oblivious to what's going on upstairs, though. The hacker tips off Hans where the police are trying to enter as Hans's group shoots out the police light. Because they were like shining that big light. They shine
a huge spotlight. And they're like, what are you doing?
Yeah. So the SWAT is called in as Hans's group fires a missile at them and connects. And John tries to go through the empty elevator shaft again by throwing explosives down the shaft as backdraft occurs. John and Roy communicates with Al. I put Carl / Al.
Your own brain.
For my own brain. Because I was afraid I'd forget as we were going through this. And we find out he's Deputy Police Chief Robinson at this point. So, and takes over complaining about the building being blown up. Like, to John. Like, it's his fault.
Yeah.
Like,
They're blaming John. Like, you did this.
You did this, yeah. So, he lets Al take back over as Holly's sleazy coworker. I put slimy coworker.
Yeah.
Goes to talk to Hans, trying to help, and still mad at John for interfering. He tells Hans who John is, and that he's NYPD. Yep.
Gives it completely away. It's like, dude, you really think these guys are going to be on your side?
And
they have every bit of leverage here over you.
Yeah.
They're not going to work with you.
He thinks he's gonna like broker a deal with them.
Yes.
Like
you can tell he's one of those guys that thinks he can do anything.
Yeah.
Like, let me just negotiate.
Like he should be on like Wall Street or something. Like yeah.
He's annoying.
He is very annoying. Yeah, I know. I never wrote it down because he was a jerk. The coworker talks to John to get him to stop interfering. Ellis. He's
Ellis. Like, hey John, this is Ellis.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, this.
Yeah, this guy again. Yeah. To get him to stop interfering, and he's like he's on the phone, like,
yeah,
I got this. Yeah.
I'll talk to him. You met like 5 minutes ago, too. Like, they don't even know each other. He has
no loyalty. Like, yeah. So he tries to get John to give Hans's detonators back, and Ellis doesn't take the hint, and he's shot by Hans's group. So
Hans didn't care about Ellis.
No. Robinson again tries to get John to stand down and tries to negotiate with Hans to get his men out of various global prisons and will release hostages. Like, I think Hans, like, I don't know that Hans was serious about that, though. Like, he might just be throwing things out there.
I think he's just making them go on a wild goose chase to get them off their tail.
Yeah.
Because he knows it's not going to happen.
And it's going to take time for them to even look into this, and that's going to buy him
They're
some
like,
time.
oh, well, we don't have authority to do that. And he's like, well, it's going to happen.
Yep. So Hans is not actually connected to these people and sent cops on a wild goose chase.
Look at us remembering.
And gets blonde Carl. Oh yeah, the blonde's name is Carl. The blonde hair guy is Carl.
Well, that's just confusing with Carl Winslow down below.
To go find John. So the FBI arrives and takes over the situation from Robinson. And Hans goes to look for John, stashes the gun in the skeleton of the building, and is caught by John and pretends to be a hostage using an American accent.
Oh my gosh, he flipped it on.
He did. It was
like this is Alan Rickman.
Oh
like,
yes,
so chill. Just
and this is his first big movie.
Yes, yeah. He's perfect for this role.
He was perfect as an actor, period. Like, he just flipped it.
It's because of this that he ended up getting typecast as villains for a while because he was so good at it.
Yeah. And then John takes him along with him. John gives one of his last 2 cigarettes to Hans and explains how he got to the party. And Hans is going by the name Bill Clay at this point.
Which was one of the names, like, on a listing somewhere. So, like, he saw it. And so John McClane had seen this and was like, okay, that's a name I've seen. Yeah.
He gives him a gun. John McClane gives him a gun. And Hans reveals his true self. And John reveals the gun is not loaded.
Crisscross.
And he knew / suspected it was him. Other thieves arrive to their floor and start shooting. One shoots the window out with glass on the floor. Because that's what Hans said to shoot.
Hans, shoot the glass.
Yeah. Instructs all the glass
like, okay,
to be shot.
I will. I don't know why.
As John is still barefoot.
His shoes!
His shoes! Grab my shoes! So terrorist Carl is very angry at the party, and Holly realizes that means John must still be alive.
Yeah.
So John's washing the glass out of his feet and bonds with Al, discussing how Al accidentally shot a kid once. And that's why he's on desk duty now. So, like, he shouldn't even, like, they sent him out because they didn't think anything was going on. Like, essentially, he's not usually on the beat, you know? So he informs John that the feds are now in charge of the situation, and the feds are cutting the power to the building, which is what Hans wants to get into that 7th code lock.
Because it will shut it down so they can get into it
more easily. This is another reason this is a Christmas movie. That is the Christmas miracle Hans wanted.
Everybody gets a miracle on Christmas, even Hans.
Yes.
Even supervillains.
Yes. So the power is cut to 10 square blocks as well as a result. And the feds think they're doing everything right as Hans makes contact, and he and has no idea that Hans wants all of this to be happening. John tells Al that he's getting a bad feeling and asks him to find his wife and tell her that he realizes he's been a jerk for not supporting her in her career goals, and that she's the best thing that ever happened to him, and tell her he's sorry. He said first time ever.
It's this whole long spiel. Yep. Like he was definitely thinking this is it.
This is it. Yeah. John realizes that Hans was upstairs for a reason before and goes to investigate as the news goes to the Gennaro house to get their kids involved to say goodbye to your parents. Like, what? So the media's always been jerks.
We all know the media doesn't help situations.
No. Nope.
Yeah.
It's like throwing gasoline on a fire. John tries to tell Al the whole building is rigged, double cross, but caught by blonde Carl and fights. Fight scene, we're gonna have a fight scene. Hans sees the McClane kids on TV and realizes that Holly is John's wife. Because she had kept that hidden until then.
Yep, so he's like,
because he sees the kids and he sees a picture on her desk.
And knows.
And it has her and John and the kids in it.
After he learned the name from Alice. Yep. So now he's got even more leverage here in this situation.
So the feds send choppers to double-cross Hans as hostages are moved to the roof. Hans out of contact with John as blonde Carl fight continues, and John hangs blonde Carl.
Ooh, yeah.
John gets to the roof and finds out from the hostages that Holly was taken to the vault on the 30th floor, and the feds shoot at John thinking he's a terrorist as he ushers the hostages back in.
Yeah, so they brought all the hostages up, like telling them that it's like, okay, this is where you're gonna be airlifted away.
And John can see that the roof is set to blow.
Yes.
Like And Hans says to blow the roof as John uses a fire hose to jump from the roof and shoots the glass to get back inside.
Ties it around
his waist.
And jumps on down.
And then he's nearly pulled back out by the hose too because it's still attached to the big metal thing and it just went right out the window.
Right over the side.
Yep. So the Fed chopper is taken out by the detonators on the roof, and Argyle sees the thieves loading back onto the truck and posing as they're posed as medics, and Argyle rams the ambulance with his limo, which has Hacker Guy in it.
Yes, Argyle saving the day.
Yep. John finds Holly and Hans, who instructs John to put down the gun. And then John reveals a gun taped to his back with Christmas packing tape.
Oh,
Yippee-ki-yay! Okay.
It is a great moment because you do, as you're watching, you don't realize it that he's got an ace up his sleeve.
Yep. So Hans is hanging out the window that John shot out, holding on to Holly's Rolex, which John releases. I know.
Alice!
And Hans falls to the ground.
Here, over here.
Yeah, and I do wish we have a little Hans Gruber advent calendar, and I don't like it's like a 3D one. You can move them down each day. And it's with our Christmas decorations, so I didn't get that.
So we're obviously not filming this
in December.
at Christmas time. We're a little early, so the decorations are still packed away.
This is just our normal John.
This is just the year-round toys she keeps out and about.
My husband. They're all my husbands. Yeah. This is his shirt. That's his shirt. This is our baby's baby blanket. Because what kid doesn't need a Nakatomi Plaza? Nakatomi. So Robinson really hopes that wasn't a hostage as Hans falls to the ground. Holly and John leave the building as news trucks from their house pulls up. John connects with Al / Carl and hugs. He just knows it's him.
Big beautiful reunion.
Yeah. And Holly now goes by Holly McLean as blonde Carl somehow comes out, but is shot by Al.
He's charging out.
Al saved the day.
Al saved the day. He's not on desk duty anymore. He was redeemed. This was his Christmas miracle.
That was his Christmas miracle.
His redemption for his career.
And John McClane got his Christmas miracle with his family reuniting.
Oh my gosh.
The Christmas spirit is abounding.
Did not get his.
No. Argyle, well, initially he thought he did.
Yeah, he did not carry the spirit of Christmas with him.
Argyle arrives and Holly punches the reporter. And Holly and John are taken home as Argyle wants to be around for John's New Year's.
Yeah, it's quite a party.
He's like, I want to be around. So this is what you guys do for Christmas. I want to see what you're doing for New Year. And that is the end of the movie.
Beautiful action movie. I am not an action person.
No, I'm not usually.
But I enjoyed this.
This has something for everyone.
Yes, it does have the little seasonal twist, which
and the story is good. Like it's a fleshed out story. It's not just punch, shoot.
Yeah, it's like building to like unlocking things. Like, oh my gosh, that makes sense. So yes, I recommend as someone who is not an action film fan.
Yes. Now, how many squirrels would you give it?
It was through the roof. I want to say.
Because I have a feeling we watched this in summer.
We definitely watched this in the summer.
Yeah.
So I was not interested in anything Christmassy at that moment. And it's also, I'm not an action fan now. Yeah. You think I was when I was a teenager?
And you were probably 13, 14?
I think I was younger.
Yeah,
I think I
12.
was like 12. So it's like, I am into the Backstreet Boys. I'm into like...
Yeah. We were trying to get upstairs in time to see TRL.
Yeah. So heavy squirrels. I would say 6, 7, 8...
Oh, that's it? I was thinking
is that low?
I was thinking you'd be like 48 squirrels.
47 squirrels. There were because I remembered like the vent. I remembered there was something else I thought of that was like, oh yeah, I didn't realize. Because I hadn't seen it since then. Like, this
really?
was the first time I watched it.
Oh, we watch it like annually.
Well, yeah. But I really enjoyed it, so I will watch it annually.
Now, I will say that until I met my husband, though, I didn't remember the movie. And, like, I know we watched it for summer movies, but I was probably tuning out then, too.
Yeah.
So I would say my squirrels were not as high, but I'm thinking a good 12 squirrels probably at the time.
Yeah.
Now I give it 0 squirrels.
Oh, yeah.
It captivated me.
It was great. It was great. It moved, like, it was long, but it didn't feel drawn out.
It wasn't too long either.
2 hours or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But, yeah, like, now I have 0. Like, I watched it, like, when my husband and I first started dating. I think we watched it, and, yeah, I love this movie.
Yeah, it's a good one. It is really good.
Yeah, and like I said, we do watch it almost annually.
Yes.
There is the age-old question, is Die Hard a Christmas movie? And I will die on that hill.
I will definitely
a Christmas movie.
It definitely is. Christmas is intertwined through the whole thing.
That's the center theme of the entire movie. And even the gun on his back is held on with Christmas tape.
Like, so it's not just like, oh, it's Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Like, there's Christmas trees here in, like, the background, and, like,
party stuff, lights everywhere.
Yeah, like, it looks Christmassy. So, even though it's LA, like, you wouldn't think LA action movie, but yes,
Yeah.
I would say Christmas movie.
Yeah.
For sure.
Definitely. Do you have any fun facts?
I know that Bruce Willis gets squeamish still when he looks at the scene of him picking the glass out of his feet.
That would get me squeamish too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had 17 tank tops in various forms of disarray for him to change into, yes, as it progressed in the movie.
As it got worse. Oh, that's
because he got like really gross towards the end.
It seemed hot and sweaty.
Yeah, so it starts as a crisp white tank and then it progresses through the movie. So he had to,
they should have that in a museum somewhere. Like
he donated one of, I think it was one of his tank tops.
But I mean the progressive.
Oh yeah, the whole all of them.
Yeah.
But like he had one and he gave it a couple years ago to some. I forget
maybe
which
like
museum.
that. Whatever the actors like.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what it was, or like the Smithsonian. Or something.
Oh, that would be cool if it was in the Smithsonian.
Yeah,
that'd be real cool.
I don't know.
I haven't been there in about 5 years, but it's close enough to visit.
I'm trying to think if I have anything else. I don't know that I do.
I know. I meant to go back on this one, and then I had a baby.
Got a little distracted.
I watched this very shortly before that all happened, and I was like, "Oh no."
Yeah, I think that was the majority of my fun facts.
Yeah, I mean, it obviously spawned a couple sequels. Yeah. And I think this is one of my favorite Bruce Willis movies.
Oh yeah,
by far. I mean, The Sixth Sense I really like too, but this is I'm sure we'll get to that one.
Oh yeah, we will. A whole M. Night
Shyamalan
series.
Oh, we should do a whole series on that. Yeah, that was we're brainstorming as we work here.
Here we are. Welcome to the
party, pal.
Party, pal.
But what do you think? I expect to see these comments blowing up. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Answer the question.
We need to know. Which came first, chicken or the egg? Mm-hmm. What's a Christmas movie? Die Hard?
Yeah.
It is.
And like I said, the second one is good too, and that one is also a Christmas movie.
Is Bruce Willis in that?
Yes, he's in all of them.
All of them? That's unheard of for multiple sequels.
And I think that one's back in New York, though. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
It's good.
Is Carl in it? Al?
I don't remember that. I don't think Al's
probably
in it.
not. It doesn't make sense that he
Who else is in? Wait. Is Danny Glover maybe in it, though? Somebody's in it.
I like Danny Glover.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look it up because I know he's Lethal Weapon, but he might be in it. I have to look up and see who. I only watched that one like once or twice, so. Okay.
Well, no, it's on my list.
I'll have to look and see.
List.
Yeah. But please let us know what you think of Die Hard. Are you familiar? If you're not, do yourself a favor while the season is like quickly drying up, but like here. let's get on it.
This is a good one for in between
the
holidays.
It is.
If you wanted to feel a little more Christmassy, a little more home family Christmassy
with
all those
Christmas
movies.
Yeah.
Now this is after the holidays.
When everybody is haggard and sick of all the family Christmas magic, and the obligations.
This is a good way to let your brain just relax from all of that.
It is.
From all that joy.
We thank you very much, though, for joining us for our last Sisters and Ebert of the year. We will see you in the new year next
2025.
If you look below in the description to this movie, or this video, are a link to our social media is down there. We are on Instagram and Facebook at Sisters and Ebert, and we're also obviously on YouTube. Please like, subscribe, comment, and please follow us on all of our platforms. It really helps our little channel grow, and we really appreciate the support. And again, like the comment, we're hoping to get some traction in the algorithms.
Yes.
Grow this thing up a little bit.
Like Nakatomi Plaza.
Yeah. Not Mr. Nakatomi.
Not Mr. Nakatomi.
Who will never know his name. Do you know his name? What is it?
Please let us know.
Yeah.
Dave!
Dave, help us out.
Help us out.
He can correct us with all the things we got wrong, too.
Yeah, he will.
But we really thank you for joining us. Thank you for sticking around with us for our first almost full year. As we enter this new year, I'm just reflecting on it.
We're looking back.
Yes. And we will see you in the new year at the movies.